A simple can. That's all the consumer sees when opening an energy drink. Yet behind that small aluminum cylinder lies an impressive industrial chain involving laboratories, automated factories, global logistics networks, and extremely strict quality controls. Before reaching a store, a gas station, or a vending machine, each can may travel several thousand kilometers and pass through the hands of hundreds of different machines. The story begins long before the filling process. Everything starts with the main ingredient, water. Even though it represents the majority of the final product, the water used in energy drinks is not simply collected and bottled. Manufacturers must guarantee an identical taste in every can, regardless of the country or season. To achieve this, the water undergoes several treatments. It is filtered to remove unwanted particles. It may also be demineralized or rebalanced so that its composition is perfectly controlled. This step is essential. A slight variation in water quality could alter the final taste of the product. Once the water is prepared, the other ingredients enter the scene. In areas specially designed for food storage, the raw materials needed to manufacture the drink arrive. These include sugar or sweeteners, caffeine, taurine, B vitamins, various acidifiers, and the flavorings that give the drink its signature taste. The exact recipes generally remain secret. Each manufacturer closely guards its formula. However, the manufacturing principle remains largely the same. All ingredients must be weighed with extreme precision. Some substances are present in tiny quantities, yet a simple dosing error could alter the taste, effectiveness, or even regulatory compliance of the product. To prevent this, highly precise industrial scales are used. Operators follow strict procedures to ensure that each batch is identical to the previous one. Once weighed, the ingredients are introduced into large mixing tanks. Sugar occupies a special place in this process. Rather than being added directly to the drink, it is often transformed into syrup. In large stainless steel tanks, sugar is dissolved in hot water until it forms a homogeneous solution. This method facilitates dosing and guarantees better consistency in the final product. The tanks used in the food industry can contain several thousand liters of liquid. Inside, powerful agitators ensure uniform mixing of the ingredients. Gradually, the base syrup takes shape. Next comes a particularly important step, the addition of flavorings. This is often where the identity of the product is defined. An energy drink must be immediately recognizable from the very first sip. To achieve this, manufacturers use complex blends of natural or artificial flavorings. Research and development laboratories sometimes spend several months creating a new recipe. Each combination must be tested, tasted, and validated before it can be produced on a large scale. Technicians also monitor the acidity of the mixture. This acidity influences not only the taste, but also the microbiological stability of the product. Specialized instruments precisely measure the pH to ensure it meets the required specifications. Once all ingredients have been added, the mixture moves on to a stage less known to the general public, deaeration. Water naturally contains dissolved oxygen. However, this oxygen can alter certain flavors and reduce product quality over time. To limit this phenomenon, manufacturers remove part of this oxygen before carbonation. This operation also improves the dissolution of carbon dioxide. Because the next step is undoubtedly the most iconic, carbonation. The famous piche, heard when opening a can, comes from carbon dioxide dissolved in the drink. In equipment specially designed for this purpose, CO2 is injected under pressure into the liquid. Temperature plays a crucial role here. The colder the liquid, the more easily the gas dissolves. Manufacturers therefore continuously monitor pressure and temperature to achieve a perfectly controlled level of carbonation. Once carbonated, the drink is practically finished. But one essential element is still missing: the can. Most consumers pay little attention to this packaging, despite its remarkable engineering. A modern can is made from a thin sheet of aluminum. Despite its apparent fragility, it is capable of withstanding significant internal pressure. Everything begins with massive aluminum coils. Industrial presses cut metal discs that are then transformed into small cups. These cups are gradually stretched and thinned to become the body of the can. This operation is performed at extremely high speed. Some production lines manufacture several thousand cans per minute. Once formed, the can is washed and then receives a protective internal coating. This layer prevents the liquid from coming into direct contact with the metal. The exterior is then printed with the product's commercial design. Colors, logos, and nutritional information are all applied at high speed using sophisticated industrial printing processes. Meanwhile, the lids are manufactured separately. They will be assembled later during filling. When the cans arrive at the beverage factory, they are still completely empty. They are first cleaned and then directed to the filling line. This is where automation reaches its peak. Gigantic filling carousels can process tens of thousands of cans per hour. The drink is injected rapidly while minimizing foam formation. Immediately after filling, the lids are placed on the cans. Then begins the operation, known as seaming. This step involves mechanically folding several layers of metal to create a perfectly airtight seal. The quality of the seam is critical. Even a tiny leak would be enough to cause the beverage to lose its carbonation. For this reason, continuous inspections are carried out throughout production. Cameras inspect cans at extremely high speed. Scales verify their weight. Automated systems detect potential defects and immediately remove non-compliant products. Every can must meet the same requirements. Compliant products continue their journey toward packaging. They are grouped into multi-packs and wrapped in shrink film. Under the effect of heat, this film contracts and securely holds the cans together. Robots then take over. They automatically stack the packs onto pallets according to optimized patterns. Each pallet can contain several hundred kilograms of merchandise. Once completed, it is wrapped in protective film and transferred to the warehouse. But even at this stage, the work is not finished. Samples are regularly taken for laboratory analysis. Teams verify caffeine content, carbonation level, taste, acidity, and overall product compliance. Traceability also plays a fundamental role. Each can carries a code that allows it to be traced back to its production batch. If a problem is detected several weeks later, the manufacturer can quickly identify the affected products. Once all these checks are completed, the pallets finally leave the factory. They head to logistics centers before being redistributed to stores. The journey can sometimes last several days. For the consumer, this entire process remains invisible. All it takes is opening the tab and enjoying the drink. Yet behind this simple gesture lies an extremely complex industry. Chemistry specialists, engineers, logisticians, quality technicians, and operators work together to ensure that every can is identical to the previous one. And when the drink is finished, the story does not necessarily end there. Aluminum has one major advantage: it is recyclable. A used can be melted down and transformed into a new can. The cycle can then begin again, almost indefinitely. In the end, what appears to be a simple beverage is actually the result of a vast global industrial system. From filtered water to carefully measured ingredients, from mixing tanks to automated filling lines, from laboratories to logistics centers, every step contributes to producing one of the most consumed beverages in the world. The next time you hear the characteristic sound of a can opening, you'll know that before reaching your hands, that drink passed through an entire world of technology, precision, and industrial engineering.